Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stuart and welcome to my solo review of AEW All-In. Yes, AEW's first UK show, and obviously it was at Wembley, London. And guess who was able to get tickets? Yes, me and obviously Josh. We went there last night, 11 matches card, loved every bit of it. It was absolutely amazing. So for a long time I've been looking forward to this event. So I can't wait to talk to you guys about this because obviously got a lot of things to say about this event. Go through each match, but we're gonna do it a little bit differently in a sense. It's gonna be a bit more short, like kind of like initial thoughts, kind of like a little bit on kind of my experience more than just obviously just going through what happened in the match, because obviously a lot of stuff to remember. Normally when I do these reviews, I kind of just like sit and watch it and put like tons of notes, but obviously I haven't had a chance to, and also I want to get my thoughts out quite quickly as well. So this is going to be maybe a shorter review, or maybe like a bit more different kind of format. But yeah, I want to try something new, as well as obviously this is like a big event for obviously AEW and for myself, because I think it's the first big wrestling event I've actually seen live. For all the years I've watched pro wrestling, I've barely watched it live, because obviously we don't get a lot of wrestling down here when it comes to the big companies anyway. Obviously we've got the good UK scene that's starting to build up again, like Progress, Red Pro, that kind of stuff. Got to start watching that a bit more. But yes, when those tickets went on sale, Josh got them, and we both went, and it was amazing. So, yeah, nothing me talking about that. Yes, it was amazing event. Every match is really awesome. But yeah, let's go in. I'm gonna dive in just to put my thoughts. Just gonna go into. So yeah, so obviously this is gonna be my thoughts of AEW All-In. So yeah, let's get going. So yes, let's talk about AEW All-In. Obviously, it had 11 matches on there. Obviously we had, was it technically 2 matches on the 0 hour kind of kickoff show. And obviously, with that, we were at 8-9 matches on obviously the main card. Obviously, we've got to talk about the 0 hour quickly. Obviously, they had a bit when we and Josh walked in. We had obviously with this bit, was it Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs contract signing. That was fun to watch. Obviously, that sets up and all their match and all that. That after watching that contract signing live is actually got a feeling that's going to be a good match, especially if they're utilising Miro well. It's about time. It's about time to do something with that guy. Obviously, we've got that, and obviously you had the thing with Gado kind of turning up. Of course, it's in the UK. Of course, the ever fan favourite, obviously turning up to take out Jeff Jarrett. That was kind of doing the whole, America's American wrestling is better than British wrestling. We suck. America's great. Obviously, they came out. Paul White's music came out. We were a bit confused, but then obviously Gado was kind of on the screen we were seeing, came across, so everyone loved it. Good old-fashioned beatdown. Obviously, Jeff Jarrett got a guitar to the face like he did to him, Gado, in a interview, I think a couple of days prior. So it's a nice little simple segment, really cool. It's, got the crowd really hyped. This was exactly what a segment like that would need. Obviously, what hooked everyone to this, to get to the stadium early and get there at 5 o'clock, is obviously the ROH World Tag Team Championship match, with obviously Aussie Open defending their titles against MJF and Adam Cole. We were quite confused why they were doing for this. Obviously, we knew it was going to lead into the main event at some point. In a way, it kind of didn't, but we didn't know that at the time. And obviously, it was interesting to see where it went. Again, this was a really good match in the sense that it was just MJF was playing it very well with the idea of basically getting the hot tag on Adam Cole. He was really selling the hell out of it, and obviously. I do like the idea. Obviously, did a lot of the spots with trying to go for the tag, but then obviously they pulled Adam Cole down, so we couldn't get the tag. But obviously they did. We got the kangaroo kick. We got not one but 2 double clotheslines, and obviously MJF and Adam Cole are your new Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Obviously after this, at the time I was thinking, okay, I'm a bit confused, but now with the finish of the main event, it kind of I can see they're really what they're doing there. So loved a great moment. Obviously we got what we wanted there, but at the time I was a bit confused why they were doing that, but obviously it made sense at the time. And obviously the last was a 0 hour match, was obviously Hook going against Jack Perry for that FTW championship. Obviously it's FTW rules, I found out at the time. I was like, okay, what does that mean? I guess it's anything goes. So that was really cool. Obviously he came out, Jack Perry came out with this limousine. Obviously we saw it coming across, showing his arrogance. We obviously got the fighting on the Hook had no problem with this, was he not messing around Obviously, we had a nice fight in the car. Really like that. Cool. Was it Rolling Thunder? Kind of homage to, was it kind of disrespect to RVD? So a lot of that stuff. Fighting back in the ring. A lot of weapons used. And obviously, Hook got the win. Obviously, got his title back after hitting his submission move, and Jack Perry tapping out there. So that was cool. So going into the show, obviously he's got a champion. So going into the show, it was more of a situation of what they're going to start with. I was kind of on the fence. I thought they were going to start off with the 6-man tag with the Golden Elite going against Takeshita and obviously the Bullet Club Gold. That's what I was thinking of. Yes, obviously I thought that because obviously it's a 6-man tag. Usually they're quite entertaining. Thought that's what they were going to go for. But obviously they started off with CM Punk and Samoa Joe in a match that I've got to be honest, yeah, it's interesting choice, but I think the smart one because obviously everyone was really hyped for this. Obviously, what I was shocked about this one was that CM Punk was very, very booed. Mixed reaction, but a lot of heavily more boos. I don't know if it's something he did. Obviously, didn't want to build up as much, yeah, we don't like him. But I was a bit confused, but I got sucked. Me and Josh got sucked into it, and obviously we got booed as Punk at that point. Joe was having a great time. We had obviously John Cena doing back for a bit of homages to greats. Obviously we had a nice little John Cena. CM Punk did John Cena's kind of 5 moves of doom. Obviously we got a couple of so that was really cool. And so it was homages in that sense. But yeah, obviously CM Punk got the win there, with a kind of okay Pepsi plunge from the top rope that you don't see as much these days. But obviously described it, good match, got the crowd hyped, obviously CM Punk's never going to lose that Real World Championship, obviously, because technically he isn't the champion, but they're kind of pushing it. So I'll be interested in where they go with that. So that was that, and obviously then they did go to what I was thinking is they did actually go to the match before they started. The Golden Elite going against Takeshita and the Bullet Club Gold, and again very entertaining match, a lot of back and forth, high flying, when it got slowed down, but obviously it sped up as they do in these 6-man tags, high flying move after high flying move, cool stuff there. Obviously the thing that I got was the idea that I love the idea of every time we had no commentary, obviously, because I'm so used to hearing it. I love the idea, obviously, this picture of Don Callis and the whole place booed him. As I said in my preview, I'm still surprised, this guy, we hate this man. This guy is despised. He's perfect heel, and I love it. So obviously had that, but obviously the kind of match was as you expect, high flying, really entertaining kind of match. But it's kind of the finish was Takeshita getting the roll up on Kenny Omega to get the win. Obviously didn't see that coming. I thought the Golden Elite would get the win, but obviously throughout the show there was a lot of, I think Josh pointed out to me when I was watching, when we were talking, it's a lot of face wins and not as many heels. So probably sets up, I think there is a match set up with Takeshita going against Kenny Omega. It's actually a match I'm intrigued to see now after seeing it this match live, so it should be good. So that was a cool match, that was awesome. But obviously then kind of my match of the night was obviously the AEW World Tag Team Championship match with FTR defending their titles against the Young Bucks, the third match of a trilogy. Obviously this is the rub match. Who's going to win? Is it going to be the Young Bucks or is it going to be FTR? Me and Josh were obviously in our predictions, and obviously at the show we were the people that everyone was going, let's go Young Bucks. We didn't say Young Bucks, we said FTR. We're big FTR fans, love FTR. But this match was basically as you expect from these two, like the last two, but basically they know each other very well. Counters, just they know each other so well. Obviously we got a fit situation of obviously both hitting the finishes on. You had obviously was FTR hitting a Meltzer driver at one point. You had FTR was it the Young Bucks hitting a shatter machine on them on FTR. So that was really cool. Obviously both kicked out. Obviously we had a nice homage to, I think, the first match where obviously Cash went to the top trying to do, I think, 450, but he missed again. Obviously in that match Young Bucks got the win, but this case just kicked out, so maybe in a way he's learned his lessons there. So that was really cool. Yeah, obviously except for that, just a lot of back and forth, a lot of super kicks, the usual stuff you expect from these two great teams. But obviously FTR got the victory with a nice second shatter machine on to get the win, and successfully defend their AEW World Tag Team Championships. Didn't make sense for them to lose it, really, purely for the fact that the Young Bucks don't need it, and obviously FTR are probably the most over tag team in pro wrestling at the moment. So So it's interesting to see what they do with that. Obviously, we had the disrespect from the Young Bucks at the end. Obviously, they didn't shake FTR's hand, so maybe that set up a rematch, maybe a fourth match. It doesn't need a fourth match. I think it's perfect, but if that, it seems like they're gonna set up something interesting. But yeah, so obviously with this, what I found out with this, obviously the three people that everyone hates at the moment, that's got the heat backstage, Punk, Kenny, well maybe not Kenny Omega, Kenny the Elite, and obviously Young Bucks all have the matches. First three on the card makes me think that they kind of started it early. They kind of just want to get them out of the way, so they can, so we can, maybe get them out of the building, so we don't have to have any tension. Maybe, because that's how the company's working. If you believe backstage, anyway. But obviously, and then obviously after that we had the Stadium Stampede match that was with the obviously best friends, Orange Cassidy, was it, and teaming up with Eddie Kingston and Penta as well. Sorry, Ego going against Blackpool Combat Club and Santana Ortiz. This was an interesting match in the sense it was freaking brutal. It's got mocks in it, so it's going to have crazy stuff in it. Obviously, you had a lot of blood, gore, people going through tables, like a board with barbed wires going through it. I mean, someone getting stabbed with forks on their forehead. My God, Mox, you are sick man, very sick man, unbelievable there. So yes, obviously we had a lot of that, and obviously we had the spot we saw a couple of months ago of obviously John Moxley putting putting sticks in his face and they're sticking out. It's horrible. It cringes me all the time I see it. Mox has said, you're a sick man. But but only problem with it, obviously, when you watch it on TV, it's easy because they allow it to follow. But when you watch it live, it's hard to follow where things are. Obviously, I think at one point they're fighting on top where usually when you watch football, that's when you win the FA Cup or the League Cup or anything like that, or a trophy. That's where they usually go up to collect it. I didn't notice that time because I was trying to look around the stadium going, where's everything going on? The only problem in these kind of matches is you can't really, it's hard to follow. But yeah, so there's a lot about fighting in the arena, but obviously the finish was really cool with the idea. Obviously, you got some, we were kind of figuring out what Orange Cassidy was picking up under the ring. Don't know what it was. Obviously, taped himself up, put some glass so he can hit the orange punch. And obviously, back and forth. Obviously, Eddie Kingston came back. Was really a cool moment because we do love a bit of Eddie Kingston and the crowd were loving it. But obviously, a nice orange punch by Orange Cassidy to get the win. 1, 2, 3, and obviously Eddie Kingston and the Best Friends gets the win in that match. But yeah, the only problem I have with this match is that it was hard to follow. But that's probably for the fact I've never watched a Stadium Stampede match live before. So maybe if I see another one next year, I'd be more going on. But that's if it's the only thing. It's the only problem sometimes being live is when you watch it on telly or watch it on like their broadcast. It's easy to follow. But except for that was really cool. This match, obviously we got the Takeshita defending her newly won AEW Women's Championship, going against Toni Storm, the former champion, Saraya, and Britt Baker. I was so disappointed in myself that I decided to go and get some drinks, go to the bar at this point. I thought, well, with the entrance, got time to get it. Unfortunately, it took way longer than I expected, and I missed nearly half of this match. So obviously, the stuff with me, I have to look back myself today. But yeah, this was, from what it seems, very good match. Obviously, it's not like obviously when you got like gimmick matches or stuff with a high flying match, it's easy to. This is kind of the more proper match, if you know what I mean, proper like just basic wrestling match here. It's really good stuff. Obviously, I was going in with, I had no idea who was going to win this. Saraya was probably the obvious choice. Obviously, that's where they went. But yeah, obviously, this match I really liked the idea. Obviously, that it seemed like, or when I was watching it back, obviously the idea that obviously Toni Storm and Saraya were teaming up, until they wasn't. Obviously, the bit when you accidentally attack your mother, even if it was an accident, Saraya was having none of it, and obviously that's turned into like dissension between them two, and obviously that was really cool. But obviously, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of big moves. I think the best thing about this one is that from the end of this is that Britt Baker had the kind of locked in on Takeshita, and trying to, I think, pin, like trying to, if she gets that hand inside your jaw and pins it back, you're tapping. So she was on the verge of winning the title, but then obviously on the background, obviously you didn't see, Britt Baker, not Britt Baker, Saraya hits her, obviously, that devastating DDT, her finisher, on Toni Storm of all people, to get the win, and a great moment. Got to see at the end, but great moment. Saraya winning her title first time, going from a person that couldn't wrestle at all to now winning a women's world title in her own country is an amazing moment for her, and it's really awesome. And I was so happy I was there to see it. But yeah, obviously that was really cool as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm going through these quite quickly just purely for the fact that it's much easier for me to do this. But yeah, obviously we had that. We had the coffin match as well. Obviously Darby Allin versus Sting. That was really cool. Obviously going against obviously Swerve Strickland, and obviously was it AR Fox, but obviously he got booted because he had visa issues. So that's or couldn't compete in the match. So obviously they kicked him out of the group and put Christian Cage. Awesome stuff there. This was obviously going in. I was confused how they're going to do the coffin stuff, but it was just one coffin, so made it simple. Again, fun match. Again, Sting showing that for a guy his age, he could do some cool stuff. Nice little splat. We had a thing later on where we done a splash onto Swerve Strickland through a table. First time we tried it, didn't go through. So then he adjust his position, done another one, went for the table. Nice spot there. You obviously had Swerve Strickland kind of doing trying to do is like a 450 on, like Sting was on the top of the coffin. Try and do a 450. Sting got out of the way. That was a cool moment. Then obviously Darby Allin hit the a TNT title later on Christian Cage. Then obviously Sting hit the Scorpion Death Drop on Swerve Strickland on top, again on the same coffin. Obviously Swerve Strickland was trying to get him in there, but obviously he was holding his hands there to stop the closure of the coffin. It was really cool, but obviously we heard it. Obviously just got out halfway out of it, and obviously Darby Allin hit the coffin drop from the top. Obviously that was enough to take out Swerve Strickland. They closed the lid. Obviously they were going to get the win. And yeah, it was just great to see Sting live. I mean, got to see Sting live. Like the idea, like obviously at the Golden, like on matches previous, I got to see was it Kota Ibushi live, like Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega, like two of my favorite wrestlers. My God, it was just a great feeling to feel. But yeah, so obviously that was really cool. That was a cool moment. As I said, most of these matches had something that made you really enjoy it, or just something that, something that keep you, wanted to go back and watch it. It's usually a good sign of a good pay-per-view, to be fair. But obviously after that we had obviously the hometown boy in Will Ospreay going against Chris Jericho in a match that was only set up 2 weeks ago. But all of a sudden, just one promo and contract signing. I was hyped for this one. But obviously I was kind of curious to see how, because Jericho he's still good at what he does, but he's obviously not as high flying as he used to be. And obviously you've got Will Ospreay. It's in a prime of his career at the moment. The guy is on hot form this year. And obviously seeing him live has just made me appreciate the guy even more, because he is unbelievable, the kind of stuff he can do in the ring. Obviously we had a thing later, he done I think like a 450 from the top and the outside Jericho. He did, at some point he done like a shooting star press on Jericho that was leading off the top rope. That was really cool to see. It's so cool. It's like Will Ospreay, I already adored his kind of wrestling style, but now I just love the guy. It's amazing. Will Ospreay is amazing. Love him. But it showed how good he is here. But yes, obviously back and forth. Obviously Jericho hitting walls. The walls of Jericho. A couple of cold bakers in the front and the back of Will Ospreay. You know how these matches go. You got the big spots, all that kind of stuff. But it took, obviously, try to hit one Stormbreaker. Wasn't enough on Jericho. Hit two, and he got the victory. No surprise here. Jericho doesn't need to win. Will Ospreay kind of does. And obviously Jericho is very good at giving the rub on someone like that. Let them give the win. And yeah, I mean, again, probably go and watch this match. Really did enjoy it. But obviously there's always a lot of stuff to get through here. But it's obviously the final two matches were obviously the 6-man tag for the World Trios Championships, with the House of Black going against Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed. This match was kind of added sooner, but I liked it purely for the fact that the story going in, Billy Gunn is going to retire, and obviously the Acclaimed were trying to say, well, we'll win you one more title, or win you one big title before you go. And obviously this one, I didn't notice it out on the night, but a nice tribute to Bray Wyatt. They say he passed away on Thursday evening, obviously in the UK at least. It's still shocking still hurts a little bit, because obviously I watched Bray Wyatt from 2013 when a little bit XT when he debuted in 2013 against Kane, and obviously leading up to that I've always been a fan of Bray Wyatt. I've loved the Wyatt family, and the idea that two of the three members, the original three, are gone, it's just really sad. But that was a really nice tribute. Obviously I didn't notice at the time, because where we were sitting, is obviously we couldn't see the stage, so we couldn't see any homage to that, sadly. And obviously, yeah, so that sucked. But yeah, so nice tribute there. What I learned from this is, us in the UK love the Acclaimed. We love Billy Gunn. And obviously we love Brody King. We do. I mean, we do love him. I probably botched his name again. We do love that guy as well. So, nice, cool stuff. We obviously had, later on, obviously King was just kicking, just being, as always, badass. He is in these kind of matches, just totally dominating the game. It's amazing what he does in this ring. Obviously, we back and forth. Yeah, so obviously we had like a mixed communication with Malachi Black and obviously Brody King. Was kind of interesting, obviously, and then obviously we got was it Billy Gunn kicked out of the Blackout by Malachi Black. It's kind of an interesting one because obviously, you know, it's no one kicks out of that move, so that was a really cool moment. It's but what I like about this match is the situation of, I don't know really, it's just like the idea of obviously Billy Gunn finally got his moment really, and he kind of like he finally won the kind of and it was just a moment at the end where he won the title. But obviously it took a nice, was it 2 mic drops, was it elbow drops from was it Matt Caster from the top for the win, and the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn are your new World Trios champions. Again, this match was just fun. It was just fun. Everyone was into it. The crowd were into it. Everyone wanted Billy Gunn to win. Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed to win, and he did. And it's a nice moment. Could it last just a week? Because All Out? I don't know. But that was really cool. And obviously we ended with the main event of the evening. The thing that we've all been building up to. MJF defending his AEW World Championship against Adam Cole. Baby. And yep, the crowd were pumped for this. Obviously I was going in with Josh. We were trying to figure out who's going to turn. He said MJF. I said Adam Cole. We were both wrong. Because no one turned in this match. That at the time was going okay, but when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. It was really cool stuff. I love it. I just loved every minute, everything about this match. It had the movesets, it had the action, it had the storytelling of the idea that MJF couldn't do the things he normally does to win because his friendship means too much for him, Adam Cole. But Adam Cole could. He'd do anything to win. We had stuff like, obviously the stuff where, you know, Adam Cole done a suplex or a brainbuster onto the steps of MJF. It looked nasty and it kind of felt, and I liked the idea. I liked it when he kind of did it, and then Adam Cole was like looking, oh god, is he okay? Like, what have I done? He wants to win, but he doesn't want to hurt his friend. Obviously, we had the same thing with the announce table later on, but obviously he was going to hit like a tombstone on Adam Cole, but he couldn't do it. But then Adam Cole could, because obviously he wants to win the title more. So obviously they're really teasing that maybe he'll just like turn, because he wants to win so bad, he'll do anything to win. That kind of stuff. Obviously we had a nice thing where, well, I say a nice thing. Obviously after this we had like it was nearly 45 minutes, or nearly 35 minutes, and then obviously we done a double clothesline. They both fell on the floor. They both had their shoulders down for the pin, a double pin, and it ended in a draw. Everyone booing, saying no, they can't end it this way. I kind of knew they wouldn't, because obviously I checked my watch and I was like, oh, we've got 15 minutes for 10, because we know the show 10. They could do an hour 15 minutes, and I was right in a way. Well, I was right, because obviously we continued this match, and I like the idea of, again, the ref went down once, maybe twice. It's kind of overbooking, but you know, it's old Attitude Era kind of stuff. That's the reason we love wrestling, to be fair. So obviously went down once. I like the kind of idea that obviously MJF and Adam Cole were doing that, like both smiling. I don't know if Adam Cole was doing it because of actually kayfabe or because he kind of knew what he was going to do. But obviously they're both, MJF went for the chair, Adam Cole came up, we did, you know, then we did a pass with the chair. It was amazing to see. It's every time a ref goes down and someone smiles to his heel, everyone thinks of Eddie Guerrero. He basically his whole thing. So the crowd loved it. I loved seeing that. But obviously, let's talk about obviously the finish again. Back and forth. Obviously, Adam Cole trying to get the win. MJF trying to get the win. But obviously, the ref went down again after MJF was able to get away and overpower out Sunrise, and obviously hit on the ref. That's hilarious. So he's out, and obviously Roger Strong comes down. Obviously, we're thinking, okay, is this what? Because our theory was that it was going to be Strong or the Kingdom going to come down, and he's going to join forces, and say it's a big ruse all along. But we're mostly right in the sense. We're mostly in the sense that somebody did come down, but we didn't turn. We got horribly wrong. Strong comes down, obviously, gives a low blow to MJF. Obviously, at first, Adam Cole was hitting, like, his finisher, hit, the back of the, that knee to the back of the neck, and obviously hitting this Panama Sunrise on MJF. He still kicked out because of the ref being down, so a bit of luck there. But obviously, why MJF was down, Strong gave Adam Cole the title, so hit him, but he couldn't do it, and sitting there saying, Strong, get the hell out of here. But when he turned around, MJF was able to get the roll up, get the win, and is still your world champion. And like nice moment obviously at first, when obviously MJF was like wondering what was going on, saying, mate, you did well, obviously. And then obviously Adam Cole threw the Ring of Honor title out of the way, and we had a nice like symbolism moment where obviously he gave him the title, and then basically turned his back at him, say hit him, and he didn't. And obviously we just had a nice hugging moment, and obviously just like they're two friends, and we kind of end the show with that happy moment of MJF still your world champion, Adam Cole still conflicted, but maybe this friendship is a bit more real than we expected. And again, ended the show really well, and it was just a really fun show. I said I've got through that quite quickly, probably for the fact I don't want to go into too much detail, because obviously I want to be more concise with what I say. So hopefully that comes across. Overall it was just an unbelievable show. Every match was pretty much delivered in some way. Obviously, I said the best matches I said was MJF, probably Adam Cole, probably for the story, but obviously a close second probably would be obviously Young Bucks versus FTR, because they usually are matching like in any pay-per-view to win, so not surprised with that. So great show. Obviously got the announcement that they're going to come back on next year, so obviously I'm going to get tickets for that, so I can have it, make this a thing, AEW, make this a thing, come to England once a year, because this show has proven that if you put a show on, we will turn up, and we will turn up in droves. It was an amazing event. I had a great time. I know Josh definitely had a great time. So obviously this is my kind of it's a shorter review of AEW's All In. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed talking about it. Normally I would go way detailed, but I feel like I want to try something new. Obviously with this kind of me with being there is a bit more interesting, kind of putting more what my experience were at the show than it would be to just go through beat by beat. But I hope you enjoy this kind of new style. If you're not, let me know in the comments below. So obviously, and also let me know if obviously if you were there, love to have a chat with you, what your experience of AEW All In, and obviously if not, just what you thought of the show if you did watch it, because I said I might be, because I was there, maybe biased, because obviously sometimes you're in the crowd so you get the vibe, sometimes in a place, but maybe when you're watching it live, it's like, was it not a good show to you? Was it a great show like I thought it was? So yeah, great show. AEW has really done its justice. Only thing I would say to you, AEW, is maybe next time give yourself a bit more time to book it, because as much as some of the storylines were booked, storylines are pretty good, you've got to basically, you got away with it this time, I think, purely for the fact that it was a first time event, so it's like all the fans just, we'll go, we don't care what's on the card, we're just going to go. But next time, you've got to, if you're going to do it, obviously next year, you've got to give us a draw, give us a match that makes you go, I'm watching that. Because I was to turn up, but just, you need something a little bit more to get to, if you want to keep the 80,000, I think. Just a little, something like a main event. Obviously, the kind of talk you could go for is obviously you got CM Punk versus Kenny Omega type match. Obviously, whenever the backstage stuff gets sorted out, that at some point they just need to sort out. It's getting a bit ridiculous there. Obviously, you heard the stories of Punk having an altercation, or I'll say, was it Jack Perry, obviously formerly known as Jungle Boy, backstage. But what I've heard, it sounds like it was more he instigated on Punk more than Punk instigated on him. I know, it's just a lot of backstage stuff. Can we just sort this and have like a match where maybe FTR teams up with Punk going against the Elite, or just Punk versus was it Kenny Omega? Just maybe that's the match we can have next year. Maybe if you've got to give yourself a year to really build up stuff, and that's what we can do. But I think you need a bit more AEW for next year. But overall, great show. I loved it. I'm repeating myself now, so all I can say, hope you guys enjoyed it. And one more last thing to say. I've been Stuart Irvine, and I'll see you next time. For obviously, I will be back for All Out, and obviously we've got Payback and WWE as well. So that's 2 pay-per-views on the same night. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Maybe I might do a double review in a row. You know, do them all at the same time. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this new format might work for that. We'll see what we can do. But until then, I'll be back in basically in a couple of weeks and a week or so. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you like, you know, the content we produce here. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. So bye everyone. Bye.